So happy to be joined by Chancellor Johnson from KPRC. He covers everything Houston, but specifically the Houston Cougars, who are coming to the Big 12 next year. Chance, first off, what will the Cougs bring to this basketball conference?
Hey, thanks for having me, Matt. I appreciate you for having me. Chat a little Cougars hoops. One thing about Houston and Kelvin Sampson, they're going to bring rebounding and defense no matter where they go. Whether it's they're playing a non-conference game, out of conference, non-conference, in conference, Big 12, SEC. It's part of their culture, and that's the one word that they love to use is culture, culture, culture. And they've been doing it for so long here since Kelvin Sampson has taken over this program that they've been top 10 as far as rebounding and defense over the past few years, and that's why they're so hard to beat. Offense, sometimes you might not be able to knock down all your shots each and every game, but as long as you stay in front of your man and you can rebound the ball, particularly on the offensive end, like they're so physical, and that's what you hear from opposing coaches. um, you, you know, uh, every time they play, different teams is that, man, like these guys are so physical. And that's what they bring is kind of that toughness, is kind of that gritty attitude. And, the roster for next year is still kind of up in the air. And I'm sure we'll get to that in a bit, but it doesn't matter who, is wearing a Cougar uniform, as long as it's the Houston Cougars. If you're going to play on Kelvin Sampson's team, you're going to play defense and you're going to rebound the ball.
Well, let's jump right into that. With the roster, how many guys are expected to return? Are they going to hit the transfer portal hard? And are there any huge recruits coming into this program?
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, if you're going to be a really good program, you have to hit the transfer portal. There's so much great talent going around, and it seems like every single day you check the portal and like, oh, look who it is, just hopped in or so. So, right, as far as the roster goes, they're going to lose a lot of their top talent. Actually, most of their starters. Jarris Walker, the conference player of the year, or the freshman player of the year for the AAC, he's NBA bound. He'll likely be a top 10 pick. Marcus Sasser, who is, to me, one of the best guards in the country last year, or this season at least, he's NBA bound as well. He's out of eligibility. You have Jamal Shead, the point guard, who to me, I think is probably the most underrated point guard in the country with what he brings on both ends of the floor as far as leadership, running the offense, and then he is just a pest on defense. That's why he was named the AAC Defensive Player of the Year. He is testing the NBA waters, but it's a good chance that he probably comes back. Most athletes nowadays, if they have the opportunity to, they'll go ahead and test it, hire an agent, and then just try to see what the word is. But Shed will be back. Juwan Roberts is the big fella who started all their games for them last year, minus senior day. He'll be back. He's not testing the waters, and they'll rely on him heavily in the post. But the big surprise is Tramon Mark. Tramon Mark, to me, was the X factor for this team. And over the past couple of days during Final Four weekend, he announced that he's testing the waters, and he's also putting his name in the transfer portal. He's probably not going to the NBA, and so that means he's moving on. And matter of fact, we've seen situations where some athletes will test the transfer portal but ultimately come back. We actually saw with the Arizona State guy, since we're two Sun Devils, Jemiah Neal, he tested the transfer portal but ultimately decided to come back. Tramon Mark will not be doing that. In fact, the University of Houston, Kelvin Sampson put out a statement saying, yeah, we want to thank him for his time here, but he will not be a part of this program. That's pretty big news for a guy who started all of their games for them last season, and who, if you go back to their round 32 matchup against Auburn, he saved the day for them.
The Big 12, in my opinion, is the best basketball conference in the nation currently. Do you expect some regression from Houston? Because coaches in this conference talk about it all the time. It's a horrible schedule to have to play for that many weeks. So do you think there's some regression coming in the win column for the Cougs?
Listen, you kind of have to. When you look at that conference, it's so talented. Matter of fact, Kelvin Sampson made a joke when he was asked about Memphis and how Penny Hardaway said, hey, we have a great rivalry here. Even though they're moving conferences, we want to continue to still play them. And Kelvin said, hey, with respect to Penny Hardaway, look at our schedule. And you want us to add Memphis to that as well? Look at our conference schedule in the Big 12. So Kelvin Sampson was like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen because it's so tough. You're going to have, not only do you have the Big 12 conference that you have to play, but you also have the Big 12 SEC challenge that you have every single year, where you have another really great conference that you have to kind of go against. So, yeah, I mean, especially when you lose guys like Marcus Sasser, you lose guys like Jarris Walker, they have some nice recruits coming in, but none of them are going to be a lottery pick the following, the next draft season. So I expect it's going to be some growing pains just with the level of competition. They're taking a step up. And yeah, you don't get to play. There's no Tulsa. There's no University of South Florida. Like I mean, I'm trying to think of the worst team, you know, in the Big 12. You know, even the good
Oklahoma
conferences.
State,
Yeah,
Oklahoma. It's
Oklahoma
not
State,
very
yeah,
easy.
and you know, like with the now with transfer rules, they could have, you know, they could still be bad as a team, but they might have a dynamic player who have to kind of figure out who can go beat you. And now every road game is going to be a dogfight because now you have to go play at, you know, in Kansas, you know, and go play, you know, at Allen Fieldhouse. Now you have to go play at Texas, where, you know, UH, you know, for maybe a year, but you know, with Texas moving on, but like that Texas game, you know, going on the road to Austin is going to be a doozy. Like at Kansas State now, you know, like it's just so many. I can go down the list, but I mean, I know Baylor, right? Like going to Waco, that is a hard place to play. And not only that, now as great of a coach as Kelvin Sampson is, the coaching is better. Now you have, you know, you have Scott Drew. Now you will have, you know, Texas's coach Rodney Terry, who did a phenomenal job after, you know, he took over there and now is the full-time coach. You know what you have in Kansas coaches as well. Like Kansas State's coach just won Coach of the Year. So like roster's better, the you know, talents is better, the coach is better. It's going to be an adjustment for the Cougs, but they'll still be a tournament team this time next year.
All right, Chance. Well, Baylor fans, I know that they enjoyed the last time they played Houston in basketball, the Final Four a few years ago.
Of course they did.
But with them coming to the Big 12, I'm sure fans in Waco are going to get to know your name. Thanks so much for sitting down with us and talking Cougs ball.
Thanks, Matthew.